I'll bet most of the time you drive, you're probably alone in a car, a rather big machine with a slew of empty seats and 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of metal, plastic, and glass on 4 wheels. Anything about that strike you as out of balance? In this CNET Conversation, we meet a guy who thinks so. He's put together a company that believes the perfect vehicle lies somewhere between your car, a motorcycle, and a spinning top. And here it is.
Take a look. Isn't she beautiful?
Daniel Kim is the founder of San Francisco's Lit Motors, and this prototype is called the C1. 2 wheels, like a bike, fully enclosed, like a car, and self-balancing like nothing you've ever seen. It does print motorcycle in that I see it's got 2 wheels that, are lined up like a motorcycle, but it doesn't, what am I seeing? It doesn't print motorcycle in many other ways.
Right. Well, it's the best of both worlds. So the only motorcycle part would be the fact that it has 2 wheels.
Yeah.
And that it tilts and leans as it steers. Everything else is basically has all the creature comforts of a car and the safety.
It's more than a fairing. It's got a full body, right?
Mm-hmm. It's fully enclosed, so you can be your daily commuter. You can drive in the rain. You can take it up the mountain, drive in the snow. You're riding in your helmet, so no leathers, no helmet, no boots.
This is one of the most interesting things about this vehicle, Daniel, is that it's basically, you said it's like you're driving your helmet.
Right.
But you're also driving your fishbowl.
You need great visibility when you're driving a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's a paramount. From a safety standpoint, it's incredibly important to be seen.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So having all of this body makes a bigger statement that I'm here. I'm in your blind spot.
Yeah, I'm in your blind spot. I'm crossing the road. I'm going into your field of view. Compare this to a motorcycle. This is 1,000 times safer.
But without a doubt, the headline on the C1 is its ability to stay upright on its own, even in the event of a side impact collision, thanks to a couple of gyros that are unique to this vehicle. So, this is where I want you to show me the secret sauce.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the secret sauce, but the one I think is the most unique to what I see in your story is the idea that it's a 2-wheeler, tandem 2-wheeler that doesn't fall down.
Absolutely.
You made a kind of a high-tech Weeble here. How did you do that?
It wasn't just me. It was, with the help of a great engineering team. But our pads are basically in the controls for these gyroscopes. So here are 2 of our gyroscopes. It's our first full-scale attempt. And there's a large flywheel on the inside that spins at like 7,000 to 10,000 RPMs.
Really high.
And this is outputting around 500 foot-pounds of torque.
That's a lot of torque.
That's a lot of torque.
And that torque is used to keep this thing upright.
Yep. So in every situation, you'll be stable. We actually bring safety to motorcycles.
Okay, so here's the gyroscopic technology in action. I mean, these guys have got this thing. I'm putting a hand on it here, and I can feel it resists any interest in going over on its side. It's like it's got a will of its own. It's pretty impressive. And it's just those 2 gyros down in there creating these hundreds of foot-pounds of torque. Aside from balancing itself, Kim's team aims for the C1 to do 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds, 120 mile-an-hour top speed, and a range pushing 200 miles on a full charge that should take no more than a handful of hours at most. Now the real test, because I'm tall enough to chest any car. Let's see how I fit in here. Works.
Yeah.
Yeah, my knees aren't up against anything, and that's kind of a win for me.
Great, and you still have a couple inches behind you, so.
Yeah, the room's actually quite good.
Great.
It's quite good. Now, tell me about your big idea here.
Right, so the big picture is, obviously go to mass production. There's a huge energy problem, and transportation is the biggest, one of the biggest pies to that. So we're looking really to change the way people move around, basically create a very efficient platform, and bring a lot of value to, not just the United States, but also developing countries, where 2 wheels are actually a necessity.
But you aren't just aiming at the developing world with this.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere there's a 2-wheeler that's a necessity. So anywhere there's a traffic jam, a 2-wheeler is great for splitting lanes or chopping off 20% of your commute. It's an incredibly sustainable platform. This is the future of transportation.
To be sure, the C1 is a ways off. If all goes well, deliveries will begin in late 2014 at around $24,000. But even as it sits today, without paint, windows, or even a decent seat, It's part of a renaissance of new ways of imagining how we handle transportation with a little more balance.